Hello, everyone. It's your friend Tristan Miller. I'm just here to inform you that I'm recording my first stand-up comedy album and special on May the 4th in New York City at Caveat at 4 p.m. You can go to the link in my bio on my social media platforms, or you can go to caveat.com, go to May the 4th, and buy tickets there. Highly recommend that you get them early as they are cheaper that way. Also, after the show, I'm going to go. Phantom Menace is playing in theaters. So I'm going to take a big group to go to the nearest AMC or whatever Cineplex and go see my favorite Star Wars movie. I'll say it. I'll say it with my full chest. My favorite Star Wars movie in theaters again. So hope to see you at both things. If you have to pick one, just pick my show, please. I would like to sell out the house if possible. Anyway, love you. Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Coming soon to theaters, podcasts, film reviews, and so much more. Available at tristanmiller.substack.com.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Focus Testing, a podcast about movies where we make a movie. My name is Tristan Miller, and joining me today is...
Isra Elsalihie.
Hi, Isra. How are you? As if we haven't been talking for 20 minutes.
Well, I'm pretty good. I have my beautiful cat sleeping next to me. I have a high-rise being built right outside of my window, so what else could a gal ask for, right?
For sure. Precisely. Now, you and I met doing acting stuff.
hmm
And how did you get into acting, and how did you get into, like, comedy in general, comedy performance?
Yeah. So it was kind of a tricky path for me. I was originally in med school, so I had
Mm,
like a whole other path planned for myself. But I saw Harry Potter when I was 12, and I was like, damn, I want to be part of whatever that is. Like the
mhm,
magic. I mean, hindsight's 2020. Harry Potter maybe wasn't the best example, but that's like what triggered me.
mhm,
The sort of longing I felt for that magic, the only way I knew how to do that was to be an actor. Because an actor to me felt like they're in the center of it all, right? They get to be a part of everything. The
mhm,
storytelling, the costuming, all the departments comes down to this one person storytelling. And as I've grown older, that's changed.
mhm,
I didn't actually officially pursue acting until I was 21, 22. I moved to New York when I was 24. So it took a while from that 12-year-old until that 24-year-old to actually take the leap.
mhm,
But I moved to New York. I studied at Strasbourg. I'm originally from Sweden. And it's just kind of blossomed from there. When it comes to comedy, the best thing I know is the sound of laughter and being able to induce laughter in others and to
mhm,
laugh myself. So for me, comedy was a simple choice. It's
mhm.
it's maybe it's because I grew up with two very depressed parents, and I've always felt like I had to
Classic.
be like, a classic, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
like I have to be a little entertainer, uh,
Mhm,
to make sure everyone doesn't implode. And I think from there on, I was forced to learn how to be funny because I don't come from funny people. My parents are terrible jokester. My dad in particular. So like it's certainly I think circumstance, uh
mhm.
but nature over nurture developed this sort of comedy gene in me.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So when you said you have to learn, did it
Yeah.
really feel like that? Did you like take classes and what have you, or?
Have taken classes, yes.
Mhm.
I not necessarily in comedy. I started off with a very dramatic
Yeah,
uh
Strasbourg's serious acting.
oh, super serious. If you don't cry every 20 minutes, I'm pretty sure they can revoke your certificate. Like it has to be, you have to be very, the sheer amount of people who would just fake cry, fake scream to make it seem like they've done the work for their teacher's
Mhm,
class every day was mind-boggling. But yes, I did do 2 years at Strasbourg. I did not think, I wouldn't recommend anyone going there now. I learned, I enjoyed it as sort of the beginning of my acting
mhm,
chops, beginning getting that foundation, but I don't think that that education was for me or that that methodology really was for me. Um, but since then, I've studied at sort of HB Studios and I was selected to Labyrinth Theater like summer intensive, which is completely free, but you have to audition and be nominated. And I got to study with people like Stephen Ali Gerges and Lisa Colonzeas, who's now like, doing all this great stuff in The Bear and a bunch of other stuff. So I've kind of like sort of picked up little bits from everywhere. And then comedically, I think most of the time it's been my friends who've
Mm,
involved me in comedic projects because they actually knew who I was beyond my ethnicity, right?
mhm,
I think as someone who has Middle Eastern, Iraqi, Muslim parents, when I came to the US, a lot of the time people would only see me for roles like the Muslim refugee, like, she's pregnant and she left the country and she's a superhero and she's fighting this. Or like, she's so there's so much to pity about her and oh how
mhm,
sad, like all this tragedy. And I never got to play those funny parts until I started going out there outside of the school world, getting to meet all these wonderful human beings, including yourself, who were like, no, I see this person as a comedic, funny being, and I want to give them those roles. So from there on, it's kind of developed now.
mhm. That all makes sense. Yeah. And now you're teaching at Second City.
I am. I studied sketch writing at Second City. I
Hmm.
did the writers program there, and I've been teaching for almost a year now,
Hmm.
pretty much since they started. I started term two, working there, term two of their uh, year. So they've been there for exactly a year now. And yeah, I teach acting, I teach improv, and I teach writing there.
Hmm. And well, I mean, I would imagine that it was mostly just that's where you could get the job. But did you specifically seek out Second City as opposed to like UCB or any of the other comedy schools?
Yeah, I did because to me, even though I didn't study acting at Second
Mm,
City, studying writing there, it was the most inclusive community. I had some of the best teachers, people who really knew what they were doing, who had real life experience. It was just a really great community, and it felt very supportive, as well as like giving you a top-notch education. And so as a result of that, like I actually didn't reach out to Second City with the intention to teach there.
mm-hmm,
When I heard that they were starting up a Second City in New York, I only reached out because I was like, well, I want to continue being a part of this community. So in what ways can I like be involved? Whether that's like going to networking events there or getting to know the people and just sort of working and collaborating with them, and sort of having a little foot there. But I never thought of teaching it at all. And it wasn't until, I had this meeting with the artistic director there of the training center, Donald. And, we had a really long conversation and we really clicked and had a lot of similar ideas around comedy and acting. And he was like, well, have you ever considered teaching? Would you ever want to teach here? And as a result, I ended up like a month after that conversation, he reached out to me with an official sort of contract or official offer, and I
mm-hmm.
started teaching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. But this not just about comedy and whatever. It's also about movies.
Yes.
What's your first memory of being in a cinema?
My first memory is watching Chicken Run. And
Okay. And how
Chicken
do we
Run,
feel?
what's that?
And how did we feel about Chicken Run?
All the emotions. It was so fun. It was so well made, but it was also scary and like
Mm-hmm.
tragic. So yeah, I had all the feels, but I loved it.
Mm-hmm. What else do you remember? What else besides the film? Like, were you excited to go to the movie theater? Were you not? Like, what was the vibe?
No, going to the movie theater was always really, really special to me growing
Oh
up.
yeah.
We didn't have a lot of money, so for
Mm-hmm.
us, like my family growing up, we really didn't go to, we like didn't have major travel plans ever. Like we didn't have like big things that we were able to do financially, really. So going to the movie was kind of that sort of treat for us. That wouldn't happen very often, but was something that we were able to do. And everything from the beautiful like red velvet of the seats to like sitting in
Mm-hmm.
darkness and having a collective experience was always like I love that even as a kid.
That's great. Um, what's your go-to cinema snack?
My go-to cinema snack.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I don't think I have a choice. I will have it all, but I think my favorites is Sour Patch Kids.
Hell yeah, dude.
Always good. And get the fuck out of here with this watermelon Sour Patch Kid. Not in a million years.
Oh.
It's gotta be the actual Sour Patch Children, okay? That's why they call it Sour Patch Kids. It's not Sour Patch Melon. It's not Sour Patch whatever. It's Sour Patch Kids. So I love Sour Patch. I love a solid like movie popcorn. I will tell you this. I will sneak in any candy, any
Mhm.
bit. But popcorn, you can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Never can you make popcorn at home that's going to be as good as the movie popcorn because that has more salt than your body should ever take and butter. And that's what makes it delicious, you know?
It's true. It's true. It's true. That's Sour Patch Kids really good call, actually.
Yeah.
Because like you do the sweet, you do the salty, obviously with popcorn soda, whatever. But
Mhm.
then you add the sour into the mix, and you're like, I'm doing everything, unless I'm like can somehow get savory in there, like get a burger or whatever. If I'm at Alamo, did you go out for the like Alamo or the Nighthawk where you like order a meal? Did you do
So
that?
I have started doing that.
Oh yeah.
I did it once. So here's the thing. I did it once at Nighthawk like 5 years ago. Oh, okay. Someone really did not
No
comment
kidding.
to that. Don't you dare talk ill of Nighthawk, you whore. To which I say yes, and I will. But I went to Nighthawk once in like 2017 or something.
Yeah.
I was so disturbed by the fact that there was like these little waiters like crouching and walking past and people ordering throughout the movie that I was like, what the fuck? No, this ruins the whole experience. The whole point is that we get to like have this moment, and that totally ruined it, and I hated it so much. But then I started dating someone, and
Ugh.
they enjoyed going to these things, and I started going with them, and now I'm like, you know what? I actually kind of also enjoy this. It's nice to be able. Okay, again, they will not take.
Jesus
Is this big?
Christ alive. Give me one moment. What the hell fucking shit ding dang cunting fuck is going on?
I feel like this is like
Not even
big.
on my block. That's
It's
the
like big
craziest
pharma,
part
but
about it.
big Nighthawk.
Not even like God, I hate it. Sorry. What is this?
I don't know. It's just one of them. Just one of the other ways that we pay for living in New York,
I know,
essentially.
it's just like I can't. I'm leaving at the end of this month as of this recording, and it can't happen soon enough. I, it's just a sonic nightmare. As someone who's like really sensitive to like stimuli in general, particularly noise, I've been realizing like, oh, that's probably one of the main reasons I'm stressed out all the time. Is it just too loud?
Yeah,
It's too,
I
and
go home where there's no sounds, like outside, like we can live kind of in a quiet neighborhood. I sleep so well. I
Mhm.
feel like energized, and here I'm constantly tired. I'm like, I wonder why I'm constantly tired. Like, yeah, probably this.
Probably. What's crazy as well is like the mentality of honking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna do a damn thing. The horn is there
Mhm.
to let people know you're coming in case you think you're gonna hit them. Like
Exactly. It's
every
it would be a warning sound, not a. And here's the thing: in Europe, it's illegal to honk unless it's that. You know, I feel like it
mm-hmm.
probably is in New York too, but nobody
You,
fucking cares. And I'm like, instead
mm-hmm.
of being out there busting people for like jumping the turnstiles, why don't we just have a couple of people, a couple of cops, make some, like when they make a case out of it, and it's like we got to make an example out of you. Why don't we make a like we give 10 years to the first 10 people who honk, and like
10 years in prison?
yes, because they have to make an example of them. And trust and believe, no one else is ever gonna be honking.
Can you
Okay, maybe
imagine?
5 years. Maybe I'm turning too much into a
No,
dictator
no, no,
right
no.
now,
You
but like,
keep on that hard line of 10 years. No, you said it. And you're
that's
brave to
right.
say it. I can you imagine like like a cop on a horse riding up to you and going, Do you know why I pulled you over? It's like, well, you didn't pull me over. I'm at a standstill. But
Also,
yeah.
the audacity of someone on an older time vehicle, essentially the horse coming up
Mm-hmm.
to you in a car, telling you what to do. I
Yeah.
love that irony. It's lovely.
Thank
Um,
you. But yeah, no, sorry I got so mad about that. But
but
you were
nice.
Nighthawk, yeah, yeah.
So
I'm
I say I enjoy eating and watching a movie if you don't have the time to do those things separately. If there isn't time to go to a restaurant before, but it
oh,
generally
interesting.
I'm not the biggest fan of a sort of a dine in you
Hmm.
or I feel like I would be if people were just like you're only allowed to order before the movie
Hmm.
starts and maybe like if well actually you know what? No, just before the movie starts, that's
Yep.
and the like the initial trailers, that's it. And you can't eat anything that requires utensils or things that can like make sounds when you put it down, like no stainless steel forks, no knives. This is purely like liquid sans straw activities, okay?
I'm with you because like I remember someone was describing one time it's like why am I getting French onion soup watching the Marvels or whatever? It's insane. And like I find it so stupid that
Yeah.
Alamo's whole thing is like, shh, don't be on your phone. But someone's gonna wander in at any given moment to see if you want any fucking food. And it's just like, what? Get real. What is this?
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I'm not with it. Also, you know what? Here's a simple fix to that whole situation. You just have a little like digital thing where you like put
yeah.
in what you want and like there's no one needs to take an order, nothing. And then at a certain point during the movie, they're like, you can go and get your food so you can quietly go. And everybody gets the same signal at the same time. So you have a window. So here's the option. Either you order it all before
Mm-hmm.
or you order it sometime during the film, but you don't get your food until about halfway in because that's
Yeah.
when everybody gets their food and we have a little intermission, just like they did with The Brutalist. The Brutalist, have you seen it yet?
Not yet, no.
I saw it and there was an intermission.
Thank
Perfect.
goodness.
People took a leak. They got their fill up snacks. They did all that sort of stuff, and we were back with plenty of time, and the movie continued.
I think as someone who is not originally from the United States, you'd appreciate this. I think an interval is such a special thing that we just do not do here because we don't trust people to not just walk out. Which is like a whole thing, specifically in stand-up comedy. It's like they don't trust people to just like essentially dine and dash. And so they don't do an interval, but like everywhere else they do,
Yeah,
which is crazy
and
that we
there's
just
not an
refuse.
issue. Like, why don't if you're worried about people dining and dashing, get their
Get
card early on. Do what a bar would do.
hire a security guard. It's like
Something.
not hard at all.
Also,
Um
people have tickets. They've purchased tickets with connections related to them. You
also,
can't, you know what I mean? Like, there's cards attached to those. You can put a
mm-hmm,
little, and you know what? It's also really surprising because the US is such a consumerism gear
mm-hmm.
country. And I
Yeah,
think
dude.
for that, it makes more than any sense that they should have an interval because that's when people go and refill on their drinks, on their snacks, on their. That's like how a lot of the European theaters stay in business is because they sell extra alcohol and all this sort of stuff during those very interval times.
Yeah, I think as well it comes from a place of like in New York there's so much to do. So I feel like a big part of it is if say you go to a comedy show
Hmm.
and you're two comics deep and you're like, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
This vibe is not for me. If there was
Yeah.
an interview, you just leave then.
Right.
But since people are stupid and selfish and bad, they're like, well, if we kind of trap them here
Yeah.
socially, they have to stay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's rude. I think if you don't like a comedy show, and I say this as someone who has had this experience happen to me, as someone who
Yeah.
was talking on stage, just leave. If it's not your vibe,
Yeah.
just be like, hey, I'm good. It's fine. And that's
Yeah.
fine. It happens at the theater all the time.
And it's
It's,
totally fine. Look, one, you gotta be able to trust your comics to frickin' handle that. And if they can't, like, that's a part of being a comedian is bombing, is doing crap.
yeah.
You need to have those opportunities. So one, you're braving the people from that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's also like it's just a breeding ground for hecklers. Sooner or
Yeah,
later, someone's gonna have one drink too many. They don't want to be in the show, but they're not allowed to leave, so they start heckling.
that's a fair point.
You're like just I thought this was a country of free speech. I mean, obviously, a lot of that has been taken back and proven wrong, but I thought that that was at least the fake premise we were living by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why not give people the right to leave something they don't want to be a part of anymore?
Absolutely. And I feel like two things come to mind. As someone who's in their 30s now, it's like, I'm not going to waste my time. I got 60
Sure.
more years. I'm good. I don't want to sit through this dumb shit.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, as someone who started off performing at a Renaissance fair, where
Mhm.
people will show up in the middle of your show, sit down for 10 minutes, go, I want to go see the joust now, and just leave. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of just, like, get a wall of, like, yeah, it's just like, I don't
Yeah.
know anything about their day.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It ain't personal.
Right.
Anyway, are you ready for some movie trivia?
Always.
Okay, first question, as always. What is movie?
What is movie?
What is movie?
Like the Webster definition of a movie?
What is movie to you?
Oh, what is it to me?
Yeah, what is movie? And
A
it's
movie.
not a movie, it's
Yeah.
movie. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay.
Well, hey, it makes sense to me in one way or another.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
go for it. Whatever,
Yeah.
speak from the heart.
I think to me, movie is cinema, and cinema is a journey through the senses, through the audio, through the visual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, seriously, movies to me are a slice of life, a bit of storytelling from a perspective that we were previously not familiar with and that we get to see. And sometimes that story or perspective is enthralling, engaging, unique, and sometimes it's not. And that's okay. Consider that.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to see a normal one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Um, what movie
Mhm.
has the best soundtrack?
Ooh. I would say I know what my favorite movie composer is.
Mm-hmm.
That's Alexander Desplat. And I think all of his soundtracks are wonderful. Has done most, if not all, of Wes Anderson's movie soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
He's done a couple of other films outside of that too. I think, but if I had to go with my heart on this one, Home Alone 2.
Oh, that is a really good soundtrack. It's
Yeah.
good. John Williams back at it again.
Hmm.
Back at it again. What animal
Hmm.
would you like to ratatouille yourself into success? Any animal can fit under that hat. It does not need to, like, it can be an elephant. Don't worry about it. But what animal?
Yeah. What animal would be a ratatouille?
Yeah.
I would say my partner's cat Pepper. She's this
Okay.
black little cat that's totally psychotic, and I feel
Okay.
really like she's a meth head and a cat, so I feel like she would make a great, interesting choice for
Right.
that.
Very good. What book should never be turned into a film? And it can't be the Bible. Too easy.
Mm. Uh, Webster's Dictionary.
It's actually really funny.
Yeah.
It's just like the opening of Star Wars, just but with all of.
Just all words. The occasional picture, but you don't know which one. But that's like the exciting part of it. Like, will there be a picture now
It's.
or not?
I see it as a New Yorker cartoon where it's like you see just Webster's Dictionary, and then just one person turns to the other because it's a really faithful adaptation, actually. Oh, that's very good. Excellent answer. Um, what movie has the most likable villain?
Oh,
Mm,
movie has the most likable villain.
not likable, not correct.
Uh-huh.
not compelling, likable. Someone you'd like, yeah, I'd hang out with that.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So not that I actually think is kind of good. They were just like screwed over, but somebody I would want to hang out
Yeah,
with.
someone who you like. You'd be like, oh yeah.
I mean, I hate to harp on this, but Home Alone 2, Joe Pesci and like those guys, come on. They're calling themselves the Sticky Bandits. They're like robbing and they're like hiding out in Duncan's toy chest, you know. The way that what's his name? So it's like Joe Pesci, what's the name of the other guy?
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern. When Daniel Stern gets hit with that brick over and
Yeah.
over again in number two, I'm like the comedic genius. Okay, I love to hang out with those two guys. Just like I feel like that would be a swell time.
This is really good.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
really fucking funny. Um, I'm gonna move us right along here. Finally, as always, why is Austin Powers so sexy? What about the man? What
His
about him?
crippling father issues. Like I don't know.
Good answer as well.
There. That song, by the way, talking about soundtracks, Daddy Wasn't There from Austin Powers.
Forgot
When I
about
was
it.
circumcised, when I was ostracized, when I was jazzercised, taking kidney pies, when I was circumcised, Daddy wasn't there. So good. Come on.
I'm really impressed that you just knew that.
Is it sad to say that I like have that on my Apple Music list?
No, that's
I added that
fine.
recently, and I've been recently revisiting it. That's why it's all in my mind right now.
That rules. I will say the Austin Powers series has aged better than a lot of the comedies from that time, in a lot of ways.
I think I don't know if I agree on that. Do you
That's
really
fair.
think that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
I feel like,
Um,
yeah,
I do. I think mostly it's just like stupid. It's mostly
yeah,
stupid. There's like, I don't love Will Ferrell in Brownface. That's the main one that I'm like, that was bad then and now. And
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's crazy that they did that.
Hmm.
What the hell? Um,
Sure, yeah,
Obviously there's like all like the like sexy robot stuff, but it's like
yeah,
so stupid that it feels like a 12-year-old's version of sex as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
so chaste in a way that I'm like, it's not even offensive. It's just stupid. I don't
I
know.
know. That's why I love it so much, though. I love
Oh,
Austin Powers
absolutely.
because of that. I love the Anchorman because of that. I
Hmm.
mean, all of them. Yeah, so funny, so dumb.
Yeah, so good. Daddy wasn't there. I love the answer as well that the reason he's sexy is daddy issues. I get so often when I ask that question because I ask it of everyone and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the confidence." But I've been on a streak of things where the last like 3 or 4 people to do this podcast have given me answers that I would have never thought of, and that includes that one, and I'm so stoked. It's so good.
It's like he's a little vulnerable. You just want to take care of him, you know? I'm here, baby boy. I got two juglets for you. Okay, I don't know what that even means.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
either.
the word, but I made it happen today.
Mhm. Are you ready for the random word from which we will improvise a plot of a film?
I think
Here we
so, yeah.
go. Do boo 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 boo. Oh boy, why does it always take so long when I use the iPad? Would love, would love for it to go. Astonishing. Astonishing
Well,
is
I
the
think
word.
it's anti-Semite. That's probably why.
Yeah, it was a very long word, so it took a while.
Okay, what's our word?
Astonishing.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
astonishing is our
yeah, yeah.
word. Damn. Okay. Uh, oh, wow, that's a bad
Yeah. Yeah,
prompt. At
yeah,
least
it's like it's
that.
tricky, eh?
Yeah. Okay.
The way where I go, mind goes is sort of like a magician of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's like a focal point, that it's like a character study around a magician and all of
I
that.
was in the same vein of that.
Mhm.
The first thing that popped into my head was sort of like, Pixar and Soul, that kind of
Okay.
like We're going animation route with this.
Okay.
What I'm getting like Pixar, and it's astonishing title of the
Hmm.
movie. It's about a magician. What else?
Okay. So it's an animated picture about a magician, and I like that. I think it's good. I feel like it's got to be, well, it's got to be not going well for this guy at the beginning.
Yes,
It's
for
got to be
sure. Going
down
terrible.
on his luck.
I would also suggest perhaps, it doesn't have to be this, but
Mm,
perhaps the story is told from the perspective of his magic rabbit.
I was thinking something similar. Yes, I think that's
Yes.
very good.
Mhm.
So I think then we're getting into kind of Secret Life of Pets space here, but I think that's good. Of
Mhm.
like the rabbit and the doves are like, man, this guy seems really upset. What happened?
Yeah,
And kind of
exactly.
like a Winnie the Pooh thing where they're like, something's going on with like our guy. We
Hmm.
have to solve a mystery to figure out what's been going on with him. And it's like, I don't know, he's like getting divorced or something. I don't know.
He's getting divorced, but at the same time, also the world is losing hope, and so people aren't as like astonished by magic anymore. They have to
Mm.
bring back joy into the world. It's kind of like as if you took Elf, that whole element of like people don't believe in Santa Claus anymore,
Hmm.
that sort of thing, and
Hmm.
combined it with Oliver and Company. Did you ever watch Oliver
Yeah,
and Company?
why should I worry? Why should I care? Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
excuse me, you are the best. Not people don't know about that movie enough.
It's
Really,
great.
that's why I'm
Georgette
here
was
today.
formative for me.
It was very formative to me, and I'm here to spread awareness about
Hmm.
Oliver and Company. But
Hmm.
like how you had all the cats worrying for their little poor owner, the
Hmm.
cats and dogs worrying for their poor little owner who's like in dire straits. So it's kind of like
Hmm.
those two.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that happening. I feel like you could open even with the magician's show and it's going okay, and then some kid with like raises his hand and or like stops the show and goes, "Well, this is how he does that." And he's like, "Well,
Mhm,
how'd you know?" He goes, "I saw a TikTok about it." Like this is not there's nothing new under the sun. He's this
mhm,
really obvious sleight of hand
mhm.
or whatever. And so I feel like I feel like the main antagonist has got to be like this 14-year-old kid that hates magic. And he hates his magician.
Yeah.
And they live in the same town. So it's not like he can get away from this kid. And this kid is a bully to all of his friends, but most importantly to this magician.
And as a result, his confidence is sort of tanking. His magic isn't going well. His divorce is getting more, or like his
Strange.
relationship is getting more and more strained. So there's this whole like other adult element to it too, of him like having this personal life issue. So okay, so we have the antagonist, mean heckling 14-year-old.
Yeah.
We got this ragtag team of magic animals, and
Mm-hmm.
like maybe the gloves are an element. There's a pigeon, all like we have all of the little thingies, and he's going through this divorce. Does he have children or no kids? No kids?
I feel, kids ups the stakes, but it also complicates the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then we have to bring them in and think about like what they do for the plot, and I'm like, ugh. But no, I do think,
Well,
I
maybe he
think,
discovers the magic of fatherhood. Mm, maybe the children are what is astonishing.
oh,
Kind
I,
of like Vanessa's hot ending, where she's like realizes she didn't need to be a dancer.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're adding in the kids, it shouldn't be a divorce. It should be like the custody battle.
Oh,
So he's like, I want to see my kids regularly,
yeah.
and his wife is like, no, you're a magician. I can't believe I married you. You know.
I mean, you know what? Okay, so I think I'm agreeing with you. I think the kids might be overcomplicating it.
Hmm.
Maybe we should just keep the relationship, and we
Hmm.
can still add like magic maybe is lost there to a certain extent, right?
Do we want him to make like a deal with the devil to do actual magic all of a sudden, and so his
Hmm.
shows start popping off, but
Yes.
at what cost?
Yes. 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 It says, I love this. Okay, great. This is the driving force right now.
Hmm.
So he's making a deal with the devil.
Hmm.
What's the devil like? What do we do? The
I
devil.
think the devil should be played by I don't know, someone just like someone
I have
so. Hmm?
I have a potential suggestion for the
Okay,
devil. And I by no means think that this person is the devil. I love them, but I feel like Richard Kind could make a great
that's
addition to the
funny.
show. You know what I mean?
I like that as well. I was gonna go with Paul Rudd. I was like,
Ah,
who's the most banal white guy that's like standard issue? Like, but also I think Richard Kind is really good because he's so self-effacing and sort of what is obsequious, you
hmm
know? And so you wouldn't necessarily expect it. And I think that's really good. And also he has a history of like working with like animation and he's got a great voice. I think he's
yeah.
fantastic. That's a great pull.
Okay,
So
good,
we
good,
have
good.
the devil played by Richard Kind.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a deal with the devil, and so he can actually he can do like real magic. So this kid that's been bullying him all of a sudden can't disprove his he can't be myth busting up in here. And
Uh,
so then obviously I feel like you know the deal with the devil is generally for your soul, right?
right.
Or something, or some element of his life that was going well. Maybe he's not getting divorced at the beginning. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's just like some tension in the relationship, but through this, his demeanor starts changing. He
Yeah,
starts
that's
being a
what I
worse.
was thinking.
Hmm.
He like starts the same kid, the 14-year-old comes to one of his shows now that he has the magic, records him with all like does like a TikTok live or something. I don't know how TikTok works, I never had it. But like a live situation, something like that, thinking that he's gonna get another one on this magician, but instead he exposes him as a wonderful magician, which
Hmm.
sort of fame that then causes this sort of like rift between the partnership of him and his beloved wife.
Because he gets obsessed with like pursuing success in that way rather than being there for his wife, and it
And
causes.
personality maybe, you know,
Kind
his
of like
perspective.
in Spider-Man 3 when he gets turned into Venom, he's like being a dick for no reason. Yeah, wearing sunglasses all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think then it has to like build. I think the for me,
Hmm
what it builds to is that kid keeps trying to disprove this guy because it bugs him because he's like, I know how magicians are. I know how magic works because I secretly want to be a magician and I know
Yes.
all these tricks. And this guy's somehow cheating. And so he
Mm.
keeps trying to come back to these shows. And it gets to a point where the magician loses it on this kid
Okay.
and like that publicly, like it's like shaking him or
Yeah, yeah,
something,
yeah.
and then that causes the downfall, like in the
Oh,
ending of the second act where he has to like pick himself back up and learn his lesson.
exactly. Okay, okay. Yes, I like this idea. That turns around. So what happens to his relationship in that? So after post shaking the kid,
I
what do
feel like she's like, you can't like assault a teenager. I'm good. I'm out of here. You can't like do that.
why did we even have this feud with this child to begin with? They're a
Exactly.
kid. Like he's investing all of his life and energy into this one feud.
Uh-huh, exactly. So she's like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay with my parents for a while in Boise. I'm fine. Look, you figure yourself out and we'll talk in like 3 months.
Mhm.
And so he has 3 months to like, and that's the last chunk of the film is to like clean up his act. And then of course he has to go back to Richard Kind and be like, okay, I want to undo this deal. And
Mhm.
Richard Kind's like, well, no, you signed a contract. Let me get another contract going that has to like he has to do certain tasks for him to then
Yes.
like get out of this other contract. And what do you think the three things should be?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So there's three things. So,
Hmm.
okay, question. Three
Hmm.
things. I like that idea. But also, what if there was a secret clause that he finds
Mm.
out about that could be these three things? I feel like there's something where like the devil missed something. The devil's in the details, as they say, and
As they
maybe
say.
missed something in the contract. There's like she discovers that there's a loophole, and that loophole could come from the animals because at this point we haven't involved the magic bunnies or any of those
Hmm.
guys, right?
Hmm.
So,
I was thinking that the way it would work was when they're going over the contract again, they're
mhm.
like, it's a long page, obviously, because it's a gag,
It goes
That
on for
the, you know, and
there's like
the
a little
mag,
coffee stain, maybe some bagel schmear or something like that on it because
yeah,
it's
like what is this? And then the magic gloves come out and write in the like an they like write in the devil's handwriting an asterisk to get them out.
Mm,
And so his little magical friends are helping him like go back to being a good person, and that's how
yes,
he gets
yes,
that.
yes, yes. Okay. So maybe he has the conversation with the devil. The devil's like, nah, bitch, you signed the contract, okay? And then, but can you do a Richard kind of person?
Absolutely, I cannot. I
And
wish
like,
I could. I
like,
mean, he's
nah,
right about maybe
bitch.
he's right about here. You know, he's like that generally, but I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's like,
But either way, he says
mhm,
like this man, this isn't gonna fly. He's heartbroken now. He's lost his wife pretty much.
mhm.
He doesn't have a career anymore because he shook a kid, and he's his soul is forever
Because
in
he
debt with
shook
the
a
devil.
kid.
He shook a kid, and what ends up happening in all of this despair, he discovers that his magic things actually are magical, right? Somehow, or we
Hmm.
have to figure that fine tune that bit. But the rabbit reveals themselves as being magical, and they agree to help him regain his life back, or they agree to give him his soul, help him get his soul back if he decides to make amends for all the stuff that he's done.
Hmm. Hmm. I like that. Um, I like that a lot. I think what's good about it as well is there's a moment where he's like, the magician is like, wait, did you get turned magical when I made the deal with Satan? And they're like, no. You've been so self-involved, you've never noticed that we can talk. It's
I love
crazy.
that.
What is
There were so
wrong?
many sides. We tried so many different things.
And then it like does a quick like cutaway montage of them like talking to him and him going, yeah, whatever, and then like not clocking that it's them or
Literally
whatever.
making a sign that says we're magical. Like he made
Exactly.
that sign. You're like, all the like usual type gigs.
Mm-hmm. 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 I like that a lot. I think that's good. And then I think so there I feel like there should be three things like you said, there's an asterisk there, and like they're building things back, and I feel like they are making amends. Those are the three things.
Yeah.
So I think he has to make amends with the kid.
First step, absolutely.
Then he has to like make amends with his audience, and then he has to make amends with his wife. Those are the
Mhm.
three things that he has to do. Somehow make good on that.
That and
Um,
I also I want to add make amends to the pets, his
mhm.
magical partners somehow, like he's taking them for granted too to some extent.
For sure. I think that's the impetus of it. When he realizes the gloves has like helped him out in this way, he goes, "Oh my God, I've made such a terrible mistake." I also feel like it should be an apology to the audience.
Hmm.
I think it all should happen kind of all at once, but I feel like he should give the magical pets and friends over to the kid as like a
Mm,
personal sacrifice. They're like, this kid will appreciate us,
yes.
and then it's kind of also like a metaphor for growing up, where he's like, I have to set this aside and give it to the next generation and go be a normal adult.
Yeah, and maybe like that happens in conjunction with him having his first kid. Like once him and his wife is
Mm,
together, fast forward 9 months or whatever, he has his kid, and he looks at her and he goes, "Well, that's astonishing."
sure. I like that. Yeah.
And then like you see him the next day or the day before giving away the magical stuff to this kid because now he's got the magic of being a father,
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
all you ever
100%.
need to feel fulfilled.
I feel like it should be the full title should be The Astounding Aloysius. And that's
Ah,
his magician's name.
okay, yes.
And he
Yes.
goes by Al.
Exactly. Yeah, I like
Uh,
that.
yeah. Ah, there we go. Who do we think should play our lead?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Hmm.
I feel like Will Forte could potentially make a good
I think so.
one, but
I,
what,
I
what
almost
you're
like him as the kid, though, to be honest. Or Bill Hader as the kid, like where it's like clearly an adult doing a kid voice who's just like the worst.
I feel like in that case, Bill Hader is definitely the better choice, I think, for the child, because
Hmm.
he's a little nuts. Like I love Bill Hader so much. Like
Yeah.
he's a little crazy. I just feel like like remember that sketch he did where they were like doing a party on Grey Gardens.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he has the sweatpants on his head. I feel like he would just make a great kid. I feel like he would come up with wonderful ways of doing it. I'm sure Will Forte would too, but I'm
Hmm.
putting money on Bill Hader. So okay, so if not Will Forte, then who else? Maybe Jason Segel?
Yeah, I think also Jason Segel has the vibes of someone who's sad enough to be a magician.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
he's got like that wistful sort of like, oh well. He's also has something where he is, it's funny when he's put upon.
Yeah,
He has that quality which you kind of can't describe. He's got a real Charlie Brown
for
thing.
sure. And I mean, like he did that whole thing with the Muppets. Am I a
Hmm.
man or am I a Muppet? Or am I a Muppet of a man?
It's true.
Well, like I feel like he has that kind of like he can do a little more of the animated, the sort of he has that energy, as
Hmm.
at the same time being kind of a sad sack. Looking
Hmm.
at Shrinking, for example, like
Yep.
he also kind of that character.
Hmm. I think Jermaine Clement should play the rabbit.
Yes. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do we have like a pigeon or is it only
I think
other
there
than
should
the
be two doves.
two doves? Okay, who are the two doves? It's got to be a duo.
Well, then I think it should be Brett and Jermaine from Fluffy.
Yes. Okay, so they're the doves instead.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Yeah, they're the doves. So
Mhm.
then who's the rabbit?
Um,
Maybe that could be Paul Rudd. No?
I feel like the rabbit should be a gal. We're very dude
Oh,
heavy right now.
you know what? I actually just before you said it should be a guy, another name popped up. Lisa Kudrow.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good, actually.
Yes, I feel like she would be like, she's like, oh my God, come on. Like
We're magic animals, and she doesn't even notice. Yeah, for sure. I like that a lot. The wife, the wife, the wife, the wives. I think Rose Matafeo, but I'm just a big fan of her.
wait, say that again, Rose.
Rose Matafeo. She is a New Zealand comedian who she was recently in Moana 2. She has a new stand-up special out, and then most importantly, she did this series for HBO called Starstruck, which is like a rom-com.
Damn, I don't know anything about her. I do not know this actor. I think
I think you would love her.
okay.
Or yeah, her or gosh, there's someone I'm thinking of that I can't remember the name of.
What were they in?
I think America Ferrero could be interesting.
As a wife?
Yeah, she's also like she's often like a voice of reason character, if that makes sense.
She is. She is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see her as the wife too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then we would have who do we say is the guy? Jason Segel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jason Segel, America Ferrera. Maybe. There's something I doesn't feel fully right about that.
Yeah,
I
probably
think
the massive age gap.
like
The
also like I don't know. America Ferrera's work can be so funny, but also very serious and heartfelt.
mm,
I don't know. If there's something that feels like she's almost a little too dignified for this project.
sure. I also feel like we have to have like
Yeah.
a warmth. I mean, Catherine Hahn also comes to mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's got to be someone who's like really warm.
I feel like oh my gosh. What if it's just Cynthia Erivo?
I don't know who that is.
What I Tristan, Wicked. Have you seen Wicked? Heard about
I've
Wicked?
I have never seen any of the Wicked. I've never seen the stage play. I did not see the film. I know it is not for me. I am happy for other people.
It doesn't have to be for you, but it's like everywhere right now. So
Mhm.
Ariana Grande plays Glinda Good, and then Cynthia Erivo is the Wicked Witch.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
Yeah.
sure, why not?
Uh,
She's on the up and up. She's British as well, which is nice. Go
you know
ahead.
what? No, I have another option.
Okay.
So, okay, I got two options here.
Okay.
One, Olivia Colman,
All right.
perhaps, and then the other one is Shazir Zamata,
Who is that? I know that name.
who's on SNL.
Okay. I think if we could get Olivia Colman, that would be good.
Yes.
Because I do, again, I think like adding an element of like someone from another like of someone from other than the United States adds just like a little bit of texture. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess we have Brett and Jermaine, but like, I don't know.
No, but I'm with you. I think that that's not a bad idea at all.
She's
Olivia
also really lovely and warm and funny, and I think would be good.
Colman would be great.
Well, are we missing anything? I feel like I have to say this. It's got to have music by Randy Newman, right? It's gotta. I'm legally required to bring him up when we're doing like a Pixar adjacent thing.
Wait, do we want to improv a song that would be in
I
our
feel,
movie?
don't know if that's a good
Like
idea.
that's the title of the song
Yeah,
that comes.
the astonishing Aloysius. I don't know. I feel like it would definitely have to have like a main theme, like
Yes.
there's magic in the world all around for all the boys and girls, and it astounds all the people everywhere, everyone. They just don't care that there's magic all around. Something like that. I don't know.
I love that. Great, we got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
done.
It's a
It's a wrap. Are you ready to do a lightning round? So we get the same prompt. We each do a
uh-huh.
little one. Sound
Okay.
good?
Same prompt, right?
Same prompt for both of us, but we
But we
each
do it
do
different.
one. Yes. For example, I'll go
Oh.
first. For example, if it loads quickly enough.
Mhm.
Mm, mm, mm. Creation is the word. For me, creation, the movie would be about um it's about a creation versus evolution debate in the early
Uh-huh.
2000s,
Okay.
and the two people, oh, you better believe they fall in love. Classic. Two opposites, enemies to lovers. Classic. That's it. So what
Okay.
is creation for you? What would your movie be?
So creation for me is a futuristic world
Hmm.
where there has been created the perfect human being. The perfect human being in terms of like they're net zero to the environment, they recycle, they eat green, they do all the perfect things that we were all meant to do, right?
Hmm.
And the world is in shambles. So now we have to make a decision. Do we all clone this one perfect human to be the one being on Earth and save the planet, but at the peril of the rest of us because we will all have to do mass suicide? Or or
Corinne,
we decide to destroy the perfect human and live our lives out in a burning fire until the very end.
we're truly in that space kind of now, to be honest. That's really good. That's very dark.
Yes.
So the next word I have is mouse.
Mouse.
Mouse. Do you have a notion or should I go first?
You go first.
Okay, so for me, mouse is about a computer technician who is trying to figure out the best way to interface with computers in like the early 1970s. And he's the guy, it's the invention of the mouse, right?
Ah.
But of course, kind of similar to what we have been doing, he is working in his garage,
Mhm.
and it's kind of Ratatouille style, where a mouse is there and he shows him how to do it. Ratatouille 2.0.
Relative point, mouse point 2.0.
Yep.
Gotta get the cheese, something like the tagline.
Yep.
Uh,
Getting cheesy with it.
I think for me, mouse would be it's sort of like Handmaid's Tale.
Mhm.
So it's sort of a similar uprising by a group of women that have by society been deemed as the mouse because
Mhm.
a little quieter. They kind of mousy in that sense. They haven't been able to express their voice. But now is the end of the mouse era, and here comes the cat era. Okay, and so it's like oh,
The, if I may, the pussy era.
the pussy era. Thank you. Oh my gosh, genius! And all of them wear the pussy hat.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. So yeah, it's in the vein of that, like the mouse is taking back the night essentially,
When
and the
well,
and all of
When
it. Yeah.
when so what would it be? When the tag would be when the mouse is away, the cat will play. I don't know.
Oh my God, yes!
Our last. Why is this playing an ad? This is a nightmare. I can't turn it off either. That's crazy. It's going over there. Our last one is.
Yeah.
Why is it playing an ad? I really hate this because I don't generally edit these podcasts. I just slap a
Yeah.
filter on them and then away they go. And the last two, enough dumb shit has happened where I'm like, fuck, I have to go through this. Anyhow, our last one is lease. Lease, Lease. So for me, lease is about a guy, a landlord, and played by landlady Julia Roberts. She owns an apartment complex and is mean and bad because she's a landlady. And then the apartment complex burns down and she has to figure out what to do with her life. And she has a new lease on life. As she learns to be a better person.
Damn, you stole my tagline. Lease your life.
Sorry.
It's okay. I feel like I kind of in a similar vein. I sort of have two ideas for this.
Mm-hmm.
One, my initial idea was that this guy has been in a really long coma, or this woman has been in a really long coma. And they wake up and kind of all their family members are, well, not all of the family members are dead because that doesn't make sense. They would also be dead. But like their relationships are very different. People have moved on, all sorts of stuff. And through a lot of difficulty, a lot of joy de vivre, a lot of slice of lives, is he gets a new lease of life. That was one idea. The other one was about there being a like a sort of apartment complex and the people in it increasingly getting isolated from the rest of the world just by their situation of how there could be a pandemic or it could be just their relationships that they basically create a community. It's a heartfelt movie about creating community with your neighbors and bringing back that sense of like neighborhoodness and what that means in a sort of post businessy world where everything's high rises and it's difficult.
I like that. I like both of those.
Mm.
Well, we're at the end of the podcast. What do you want people to know about you that have made it this far?
That have made it this far. That's a good question. I think
Boom.
what they want to know, what should they know about me? As in, like, do I have anything to promote? Is that
Yeah. This is the plug section. Yeah.
Not like, when I was 13, I really enjoyed.
Yeah. No, it's not like this was my like sexual awakening or anything like that. No, it's just like what, like what are you up to? What do you want people to go to? Like, I mean, take your acting class at Second City.
Well, first of all, I want everybody to know that I apparently do many podcasts because I'm so familiar with this podcast. I do podcasts every day. I did a podcast this morning and one last night. No, so what I wanted people to know is that I currently have a commercial that's coming out on Sunday at the Super Bowl with the Muppets. So please tune into the Super Bowl, not because of the football, because who cares about that? But tune in because you want to see my beautiful face with some Muppets doing some yaks. So anyway, that is happening. Booking.com, fourth quarter. You don't have to watch all of it. And then the other thing is obviously Second City. I'm teaching there, but I never know which terms I'm teaching until or which class I'm teaching until a week before.
Seems
So
stressful.
honestly, just do private coaching with me. I'm very affordable, probably more so than whatever Second City charges, and that information will all be on my website. So
yeah, which will be in the show notes. I now speak to you, the listener. If you want to support this podcast, you can go to tristanmiller.substack.com, get early access to the episodes, the video of the episodes, a bonus podcast called Movies to Fall Asleep To, where I talk to people about their comfort films, and I also do film reviews there. It's all about, and I sometimes post clips of my stand-up and other comedy stuff. It's all comedy and movie over there. And now I'm speaking to you, Isra. Thanks so much for doing this. This is heaps of fun, despite the noise, and perhaps because of it.
Sure. It
Yeah,
adds a little extra spice. Life's unpredictable, people. Get used to it.
I just mostly feel embarrassed about swearing as much as I did, and I don't know why.
Now, come on, it's 2025. There's bigger issues than swearing,
It's
you
true.
know?
True, 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 true. But thank you so much for doing this. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I hope to do something with you again soon.
Likewise. Oh, and see the bet. Hello?
Oh yeah, when it's out, it'll be out soon. I'm gonna try and put it some festivals. What Isra is referring to is I wrote, directed, and starred in a short film that she was gracious enough to be in, and it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it.
Mhm.
So, once that's available to the public, I will let you know.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.